Hello, my fellow brothers and sisters. This is I, Joe, the Jesus guy. You know, before I share my testimony, I want to make one thing clear here. In no any way, shape, or form do I claim to be more special than anyone else. The only person that is special than anybody else than God Himself. We are all chosen through the Lord. God chooses each and every one of us to preach His word, to pray for others, to teach others about Him. God sees us equally in His eyes. We're all equal. Sinners, saints. No one's perfect. And no certain person's chosen. Yes, we're chosen for different things. Yes, that I believe we are chosen for different things. We are special in our own way. But the point is, no one's more special than the other. I just wanted to make that clear before I share my testimony. Because, God talked to me and He told me, yes, I shared my testimony with people I know from church, and when I was a kid I shared it, but I shared it on YouTube on my other channel, but it's just I talked to God and I said, God, are you sure you want me to share that particular part? He goes, yes. I go, what if they think I'm crazy or lying or what have you, and they say oh, this and this? He told me, don't worry about that. And no matter what they say, you know what's true. And if they're a believer in me, then they know it to be true. And I was like, he goes, whatever they say, do not argue with them or get angry with them. Just pray for them and, just treat them the way Jesus would. So I was like, okay, you got it. So without further ado, I'm not going to share, I'm only going to share the part He told me to share, which was my encounter with His Son, Jesus. I was about maybe 10, 11 years old. This was back early 2000. Anyway, my siblings, they have their dad and I have my dad. We shared the same mom. They're my half siblings, and they were away at their dad's house for the weekend. My mom and dad were asleep. Mind you, we lived in a house that had an evil demon that was there, and like my mom would have nightmares, and it would mess. It would try to tear that family apart, basically. Anyway, I was laying in bed. I had two doors. I had one in the hallway and one next to my bed. And the door next to my bed led into the kitchen and the bathroom, what have you. Anyway, I heard walking around. I was like, no one should be walking around. I was about to go to sleep. And I heard walking around. I was like, what? And so I sat up, I looked, and I saw glowing red eyes and like these nasty looking teeth, and it showed an evil grin, and I got scared. Mind you, I'm new to Christianity. I'm a little boy, about 10, 11 years old. And the hallway between my room and my parents' room, the hallway, it would creak when someone walked on it. So as soon as I saw that creature with teeth, I covered my head up. I was like, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, help me, Jesus, help me, Jesus. And I was just saying, help me, Jesus, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. And I heard the hallway creak 4 times. Mind you, my parents are asleep. Next thing I know, I'm under the covers. My head's covered. Hot breath. I could feel through the blanket. Mind you, at that age, I was scared of the dark, so I had to have the bathroom light on, so I could kind of see. And a hot breath, and I don't know what made me look. I roll the covers up. I look at it. It smiled at me. It had scales of a dragon, snout of a dog, and horns. It had scales like a dragon, and mouth like a dog, and sharp teeth, and red eyes, and horn. And it smiled at me, this evil smile, and it spoke with two voices. It had a male and female voice, and it said, "You're mine to take." I was like, "Jesus, help me! Oh God, help me!" And it started to chuckle, and I kept saying, "Jesus, help me! Jesus, save me! Jesus, help me!" And all of a sudden, through the blanket, mind you, I'm laying down like this in bed, and all of a sudden, through this pretty thick blanket, I see this brightest light I ever seen in my entire life, brighter than the sun. I couldn't look at it. I had to avert my eyes like this, where I can, you can see through your fingers. I had to avert my eyes. And all of a sudden this peace came over me. Even though I had this creature next to me, breathing on me, trying to get me and saying all this stuff. And soon, because I knew something special happened, because as soon as that bright light shone, I heard that creature hiss and squeal and go like that, and just this peace came over me. So so much peace came over me. I took the blanket off my head. I still averting my eyes while laying down. I raised my head up, and I couldn't keep my head up. I was trying to fight and see what was going on, and I couldn't see who it was. I couldn't see no face. You know how like a bright light shines behind someone, all you see like a silhouette kind of thing. And I saw this tall man with long curly hair. It wasn't straight, it's curly. And he had holes in his hands. Holes in his hands. And he goes, "Do not be afraid, my child, because you are the one who called me." And I just instantly knew I wasn't scared. And he pointed to the creature. He goes, "You be gone in my name. Go back to the pits of hell where you belong." And it screeched and then gone. And he said, "Joseph, my child, several things are to come. When you are older, you will preach my word and do many great things in my name. You will see visions and you will have dreams of what is to come. You will no longer be afraid of the dark." And the voice was so soothing and, just like this calming feeling just over me. Overwhelming feeling. I couldn't stop averting my eyes because it was so bright, but yet I wanted to look at him, but I couldn't because the presence was so powerful. The light was so bright, and he goes, "You would do many things in my name. You preach my word. Like I said, you will have visions. You will have dreams of what is to happen." I go, "What does that mean?" He goes, "You will know when the time is right." And I go, what do you mean?" He goes, "Again, you will know when the time is right." I go, "But I want to know now." And then he kept saying, "You will know when the time is right." And I was confused because I'm a little boy. I don't know anything. And he goes, "When I leave, you will no longer be afraid of the dark. And when you wake up, you will tell your mother and people at your church what has happened here." I was like, okay, because that's the first thing that came to my mind when he told me that. I wasn't scared. I just didn't understand what was going on. I knew who he was because when you know when you see Jesus, you know instantly you know instantly. I don't care what you say in the comments. It's not going to bother me. Uh, you believers know what is true. Anyway, continue on. So then he stepped back in the light went away, and I was out. Next night, I didn't sleep with the light on, and I haven't slept with the light on since. I told people at church, and they're like, oh, my mom, I was afraid to tell my dad because my dad's not a believer in that stuff. And then, like, when I was younger, my parents and I would always go to free concerts and all this. We went to this concert, a Vance concert, and this guy, Vance Vance, he sang classic, oldie music, like from like the 60s and, whatever. And me and my mom were in line to get an autograph. Mind you, this guy never met me in my entire life. We walked up there, and he took one look at me and looked at my mom and told my mom, your son is very special, and he's meant for stuff that he can't even imagine. And I'm thinking to myself, it's a little strange. How does he know that? I mean, I didn't think, someone like him would say something like that. And, out through growing up in my life, I've been told. I met one guy, and he said, you have no idea what God has planned for you. You're greater than you can ever imagine. Mind you, like I said, we're all great. We're all meant for something greater, imagine. But being told that after confirmation from Jesus himself and some random guy and another random guy that I don't know, it's insane. But when I was 11 years old, I started having visions. More like dreams. I would see the earth on fire. I would see demons walking the earth. I would see holes in the ground. I would see stars falling from the sky. I would see the world burning, people screaming, calling out the name of Jesus. 11 years, seeing demons walk right in front of you. It's scary when you're a kid. I was terrified having those dreams. I was like, Lord, I don't know about this. But as I got older, Satan would do things to discourage me from, being in God's presence. When I was a teenager, I started having depression because I was getting bullied at school, and thoughts of suicide and harming people came in my head, and then I started having visions again, the same as dreams. I was like, see, the demons walking the earth, the holes in the ground, Satan flying out of this hole. He doesn't look red and has a pitchfork and he has horns. No, that's not how I saw him in the vision. What I saw in the vision, he was a beautiful angel flying out from the pits, because in the Bible it said Lucifer, aka Satan, was the most beautiful angel in heaven. He was. And you look it up. I might be talking about that soon in the scripture. Anyway, I would see so many horrific things happening to people getting raped, people getting killed. And it still kind of frightened me, and when I was 16 years old, I preached my first sermon ever. In which that vision, that Jesus himself told me that I would preach when I'm older, but he didn't say when. Anyway, at 16 years old, I preached my first sermon. And, depression was there. And and I would have dreams of being on stage and, making people laugh, and, they cheer for me and they clap, and, I didn't ever understood what that meant, and the whole time I had those dreams. There's one dream I really would never forget. I was I was still a teenager, you know. I still suffered from depression. I had a dream. Uh, it was the final battle between heaven and hell, and I had this sword in my hand, you know, fighting demons and stuff. And you know, I went to go push this demon into one of the pits of hell, and it grabbed a hold of my arm, like you know, like this, and I kicked it off, and it drug the demon's claws drug down my arm, both arms, this arm, my left and right arm, drug down. It was deep, and I could feel it. And he fell in the pits of hell. I woke up the next morning. I had these deep scratches on my arm, 6 scratches on each arm, 6 on my left arm and 6 on my right arm, deep, and they were there for weeks. Mind you, I didn't have any cats. My dogs, they had their own bed. They slept in a kennel, but I didn't have fingernails, so I couldn't explain it. And people will ask me, Joe, what happened? And I tell them, they're like, that's insane. You know, and those deep scratches would stay there for weeks, for like 2 weeks. And it was insane. I was like, what does that mean? And I could never figure out what that meant. And I still don't know what that meant. And then let's, you know, then let's fast forward a couple years. I still had depression and stuff. I suffered from depression for a long time. Yeah, let's fast forward to when I was about 20-something years old. It was around the time my uncle Jimmy died. Well, the night before, I had a dream that someone in my dad's side of the family died. Someone that's related to my dad, someone close. And then the next morning, I get woken up, and my mom and dad's like, hey, Uncle Jimmy's in the hospital. He's in the coma. He's not doing too well. I was like, deja vu. And then, like, I think a week later, the next day, he passed away. After we go visit in the hospital, he passed away the next day. I was like, this is insane. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit more. And then, like, I had a girlfriend, you know. And back when I was like 22, I had a girlfriend, and you know, she was. I'm gonna be honest. I lost my virginity to her. I know sex before marriage is a no-no, but I'm just saying that's what happened, and you know, we broke up, and it shattered my heart so bad that I fell in this deep, dark depression place. I quit going to church, praying, reading, all that. I was like, I don't want nothing to do with you. I told God, I'm done. I don't want nothing to do with you. I got depressor. And so I started using women. I started womanizing women. I started using women for sexual gain and all this. And then I started feeling even worse. I started even feeling worse than I already felt. So bad. I started feeling so bad about that I wanted to take my life, and I was about to end my life, and then a voice, probably a messenger angel or God himself or Jesus, somebody said something. He said, Joseph. I was like, what? I heard that voice saying, you are meant for something greater than you ever could imagine. Do not do this. I was like, but what else am I gonna do? I'm hurting. The voice said, come back to me. Come running back to me. I was like, how, Lord? How can I run back to you? What I done? He said, it doesn't matter what you done. It matters what you will do. I'm sorry. I get emotional. It doesn't matter what you've done. It matters what you will do. Like, show me how to come back. And then I get this message from this girl saying, invite me to her church. And I wasn't too sure. I was like, I was about to kill myself. Why would I go to church? And the voice told me, go. And I went, and they opened their arms to me, and it made me feel like home. And the pastor had all, he was preaching, and it felt like it was hitting here. And they had an altar call, and I went up there, and I rededicated my life to God. And I asked for forgiveness, and I was like, God, forgive me. And he forgave me. And I turned my life around. Yeah, every now and then I had to slip up every now and then. But what Christian doesn't slip up? It doesn't matter what we're doing in that moment. It matters what we will do instead. And the pressure showed its weary head, and I didn't think of suicide. I just felt, and I get prayer. Just because you pray something away doesn't mean it's gonna stay away, because Satan knows what worked, and he will use that against you to make you fall again. I should know. I know for experience. Anyways, I got back in church, start praying, reading. I start having visions of what I believe the end time. The world on fire, pits opening up, demons crawling out of it, Satan himself flying out of it. Like I said, Satan was an angel. Satan flying out of it, laughing, thinking he won, and then all of a sudden the skies open up, and then I see Jesus and more angels than I can count coming down out of heaven, coming to face Satan and his army. And I would have those visions. I still have those visions sometimes. Well, instead of dreaming them, I just sit in there. Sometimes I hear trumpets, sometimes I don't. Either way, when I have them, I just go limp, like I fall asleep. But instead of falling asleep, I feel like I leave my body and I'm transported somewhere else. Like God transports me somewhere else. And I'm there. I could feel myself, and I could feel the ground's hot because the earth is on fire. People screaming and calling for Jesus, but no answer. It's the way God's saying, I offered you help and you turn your back on me. I offer you help again, you turn your back on me. People are gonna get only a certain amount of chances before it's too late. Don't be one of those people that waits till it's too late. You don't want that. I don't want that for you. God doesn't want that for you. He wants you in heaven with Him. That's what He wants. Anyway, I'm going to fast forward a little bit to a more recent. Back in 2018, I felt like I lost my faith. My 2018, I had a dream that my dad was dying. He's on his deathbed, and he has all these tooths, and this creature's near him, and I was like, that's a weird dream. Oh, before I get to that, I'm gonna explain. A dream that I had when I was younger about stage and making people laugh actually came true. I ended up becoming a stand-up comedian. I did stand up for about 5 years till this pandemic happened, and then they shut down the comedy club, and I've been here. Anyway, back to 2018. I was like, God, why'd you show me that? And then as nighttime, I was getting ready to go to bed, and my dad was outside working on his friend's car. And he texts me, he's like, help. I was like, oh, maybe he need help on the car or something, because at the time he back in 2016 lost his leg and he couldn't do too much like he used to. So I go outside and he's on the ground, and I'm like scared, I'm like worried. I was like, Dad, what's going on? And he's like, get me inside, I'm hot, I want to cool off. And I'm trying. I get him to the porch, and he's just like out of it. And I called 911 and like turned to find out he had a stroke. And I felt disconnected from God, and then like he got better. He got out of the hospital, of course. I mean, I still have my faith, but it wasn't as strong as it is right now. I'm like late 2018 to about like, and then again in 2019, he had another stroke, and then he had a seizure where I really thought I lost him. Yeah, my faith was there, but it wasn't strong. I still had my belief, but my belief wasn't as strong as God wanted it to be. I'm gonna tell you when it got strong. About maybe a couple weeks ago, I came outside with my dog, one of my dogs. And I was sitting out here, and I'm just sitting, minding my own business. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, I hear this voice, Joseph, come back. I was like, what? He said, Joseph, come back, I need you. I go, you need me? How? And then all of a sudden, I felt my spirit just like, this burst of energy in my spirit just shoot up. And he just woke up, like my spirit's been asleep. He just woke up, and it felt like my spirit's been beaten and battered, but no matter what, my spirit didn't give up. He didn't let Satan win. He didn't let my flesh win. He didn't give up. So that night, I start reading my Bible again. I start praying, and I posted a post on Facebook. I think like, I can't remember when I posted it. See, my memory's bad, but I know I posted something about. I was sitting there, I was just sitting there. All of a sudden, I just go out of it, like I've been, like I have in a vision. But it wasn't like before. It wasn't, everything with fires, stars falling, demons. No, it was different. In this vision, people were in lines upon lines, out in the streets, out every store, lines upon lines, people panicking, freaking out. And then like they were making people get these vaccines, or I don't know what they were. I just know they were injecting people with poison. Don't know what that means. Poison could be anything. Anyway, poison. Well, this poison was killing half people and driving the other ones insane. And it got to the point where if you didn't accept this poison, you cannot buy anything. Then it got even worse. It got to the point where they started forcing people to partake in this poison. And if no one took partaked in this poison, they would kill them. I believe God showed me that as a warning. Because all this talk about vaccines and paperless money and, you know, paperless, you know, going digital with cash, paperless cash and all this, I believe God is getting ready to prepare his people to be with him. I'm not predicting when the rapture is going to happen. I just know it's going to happen. Excuse me, there's a wasp. I'm going to walk over here. But no, I'm just saying. I'm not saying the rapture is going to happen tomorrow. I'm not going to say the rapture is going to happen next week. The vision didn't reveal the rapture. I'm just letting you know now that at any moment, no matter what you're doing, no matter where you are, God can come back. See, the rapture and the second coming is two different things. The rapture happens in the sky, the second coming of Jesus when he comes down from the earth. See, a lot of Christians get that confused. I'll probably be preaching about that or talking about that in a later video. But I'm just saying, rapture happens in the sky, in the heaven. No one knows the day or the hour, not even Jesus himself. Not even the angels in heaven. God himself is the only one that knows when Jesus is gonna come back. The rapture is gonna happen like Jesus is gonna come like a thief in the night for his people. A thief wouldn't call you, hey, I'm coming over to rob your house. Don't be ready. See, Jesus wants us to be ready at any moment. He wants us to pray, preach his word, read his word, and live like him, and just look to the sky and be ready for he could come back tomorrow, next day, or the next. Like I was saying, I'm not claiming to know when the rapture is going to happen or when Jesus is coming back. I just know it's going to happen, and just hope you're ready, prepared. That's one reason why I made this channel, to help you get ready, to get prepared for the Jesus is coming back and his rapture, to get ready for the rapture, because you don't want to be left behind. I will be talking about that in the next video, but this video was mainly to what I've been through, and just, yeah. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. Again, don't praise me for what I share. Praise God for what he brought me out of, brought out of. Every person's testimony is different. You may have a different testimony than me, but I'm gonna end this video, and I just want to say God bless each and every one of you. Praying for you, whoever you are. If you need prayer, comment and say I need prayer. You don't have to say what it is, or you can email me at joethejesusguy@gmail.com. And I hope you have a blessed day, blessed night. Whenever you watch this video, may God bless you. And I love you, and I'll see you next video. God bless. Bye.